Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. This is Tarot by Sophie, and today we're going to do something different. I've had a few questions lately, like how do pick a card readings actually work? How can a pick a card reading from 5 years ago, for example, be accurate today? So I'm going to try to answer that question as best as I can based on my own personal experience with the limited knowledge that I have, but I'm going to try anyway. So there are about 5 components at work in an accurate pick a card reading. Okay, the first and main one is your intuition. Intuition is huge. We all have this extra sense, and some of us are more gifted in using it than others, but we all have it and it serves us well. My advice to you is to always trust it and to try to even increase it. If you want to know how to increase your intuition, there's lots of ways to do that, but the number one thing is to start trusting it. That's the main step. For those of you who deny that your intuition even exists, well, then that's going to make your intuition go completely dormant. So it's just like a muscle. I mean, if you stop using a muscle, it atrophies, and that's basically your intuition. If, for example, when we are choosing a pile of cards, if we think about it too much, then we silence our intuition. So what we have to do is we have to silence our mind and not think about it, but instead let our intuition guide us. Okay, so that was the first major component. Without intuition, then you might as well not bother with pick a card readings. I'm sure many of you already are very intuitive, otherwise you wouldn't even be here, because the left brain people, the logical, rational people who don't believe in psychic stuff, they aren't going to be here anyway. So the second component, it's also a big one, is the law of attraction. So I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure most of you have watched The Secret or know a little bit about the law of attraction. Basically, everything in this universe is made up of energy, and similar energy will attract each other. Our thoughts are energy. So when we're thinking of that person or that situation, we're automatically going to be drawn to the pile of cards that reflect a similar energy. It's like on a similar frequency, if I can explain that. And the third component is also part of the law of attraction. It's synchronicity. Synchronicity is defined as a meaningful coincidence. So in other words, something that happens which seems like a coincidence, yet you know intuitively that it is not. So it's like almost as if the universe has rearranged itself to create an event or someone or something just for you. And it's a really cool thing. I'm sure all of you have experienced them. The thing about synchronicities is you have to have a certain level of awareness usually to recognize them. So if you are already recognizing synchronicities, then you have a really good awareness. So that's really good. And they're so much fun. Like when they happen, it's like, wow, you just feel like life is not so boring. Like it's a really good feeling to acknowledge a synchronicity, isn't it? Now the fourth component here is understanding the true nature of time. This is a hard one to explain. It's similar to explaining someone who's been born blind what the color blue is. Like it's outside of our 3D brains. Like it's so difficult to explain. But our 3D selves and the 3D world experiences time in a linear fashion, right? But that actually isn't the true nature of time. Time is actually an illusion, and everything is happening simultaneously, like the past, the present, the future. It's all happening now. So you'll have to try to understand how that fits into tarot cards and pick a card readings, but it does. It actually does. And it's very difficult for me to explain, but it actually is happening all at the same time. So it's really mind-blowing, really. The fifth component here is the card reader's interpretation of the cards, obviously. And I've done many pick a card readings, like not like videos myself, but I've watched other YouTubers, and you know, I really enjoy watching because I learn so much about the different interpretations of the cards. Now, sometimes I notice that their interpretation is completely off, but yet that the reading is actually still very accurate. So it still can work even if the card reader's interpretation is off. Again, this has something to do with synchronicity and the law of attraction. It's all pre-recorded, right? And it could be from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if they were doing, I don't think they were doing that much 10 years ago on YouTube. It's been starting to become really popular in the past 5 years, to my knowledge. So yeah, but all in all, like, I'm going to admit here that there's so much to the universe and reality that we don't really understand. And it is a very mysterious place, and that's what makes us still have that childlike wonder about the world. And I almost like don't want to know all the science behind how divination works. I do and I don't, you know, because I want to keep that childlike wonder. But yeah, so that was my take on how they work. Okay, if you've had a different experience or you have different insight to this, I'd love to hear from you. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and I try to upload content every day. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and hope to hear from you.